Good evening from San Ignacio Town with the evening news. I am Tifara Martinez. In the headlines, a Placencia man has been busted with crack cocaine. Belize Energy Workers Union demands apology from Channel 7. And VIP holds press conference to discuss national issues. Stay tuned for details of these stories and more coming up after these messages.
The Belize Tire Depot, your one-stop destination. What you will find is a first-class selection of solid, dependable, quality products from the names you can trust. We carry a full line of urea and SureTech tools and equipment to meet every need, from light maintenance around the house to heavy-duty fieldwork. Our tire workshop features the full array of Pirelli, Nexen, and Nankang tires for every vehicle and any terrain. Our trained technicians' number one priority is to ensure you and your family's safety and security on the road. It's all here at the Belize Tire Depot. From reliable equipment, world-class time-tested tires, to sturdy, durable tools. Merchandise that's built to last with quality guaranteed.
Here now is the news in detail. Placencia police have arrested and charged a man for the possession of controlled drug. 38-year-old Marlon Wright was intercepted by a team of police officers on foot patrol on Monday night. At the time he was stopped, police say Wright was coming from the west side of Placencia village. Police conducted a search of Wright, and during that search, a transparent plastic bag fell to the ground. Wright immediately put his foot over the bag, but police noticed the object that had fallen. When officers retrieved the bag, it contained 4 grams of suspected crack cocaine. Marlon Wright was then informed of the offense he had committed and then placed under arrest and charged for the crime of possession of controlled drug. In other news from the Placencia Peninsula, officers have found a black plastic bag containing 113 grams of marijuana. The bag of weed was found in an abandoned lot behind a business establishment in the village. No one was in the area at the time, and the marijuana has been labeled as found property. We reported earlier this week that workers from Belize Electricity Limited missed work on Monday, even as negotiations progress on a possible increase in salary between 10 and 12.5% under the collective bargaining agreement. Neither side is allowed to speak about the progress of the negotiations, but the Belize Energy Workers Union has demanded an apology from television station Channel 7 over what it calls a misleading and outright defamatory report aired on Tuesday night. According to the union, it had no knowledge of the sickout which claimed over 80 workers on Monday. While not giving a figure, it denies asking for anything close to 12.5% over 4 years as claimed, and says it has never asked for that much. It also denies that salaries are expected to go up by 50%. The union accuses the television station of discrediting the reputation of the non-management employees of BEL and their union, and warns the rest of the press against sensationalizing stories such as these where there is little information to go on. This morning, Vision Inspired by the People, VIP, hosted the press at the Belize Institute of Management in Belize City to discuss various national issues. Chief among them are the recently announced plans by the government of Belize to amend the special agreement to allow Guatemala first crack at a referendum on going to the International Court of Justice later this year. While the opposition People's United Party has gone on record as conditionally supporting the change to the agreement, smaller parties such as the VIP and the People's National Party, according to Paco Smith, maintain their staunch opposition against any negotiated settlement that involves going to the ICJ. According to Patrick Rogers, the agreement needs to be ratified under Section 7 by the Senate, which has not been done, and knowing what it is in, the push for the ICJ might end there. But if it does not, the VIP is taking no chances. It will ask Belizeans to vote no. Rogers believes that the long-standing dispute has in fact been resolved since 1981, and fear of a Guatemala invasion masked the real issue: foreign domination of Belize and smoke screening. According to Paul Morgan, the United Kingdom, Belize's former colonial occupier, shares responsibility for ending the dispute, and he separates that from the issues on the ground with Guatemala.
Where is the problem? Is there a dispute? And so I want to say this today, that there are really three actors in this dispute. The guy who committed the crime, that is England, the guy who was wronged, and the guy now who just wants to live. You have to remember that England actually has a deal with Guatemala. It wasn't Belize. Belize was born in 1981. And at this point in time, England cannot come back to say, well, it was over your land here, so we'll take your land and take it over there. No. You had an economic deal with these guys. Deal with it economically. So between Belize and Guatemala, we have a moral issue. Between England and Guatemala, we have an economic issue. Let us not lose sight of that. Right? There are three groups in this whole thing, three parties, and it is not only two. So our land and territory does not come into the equation at all. It shouldn't.
The VIP says it will do its best to hamper any progress on the agreement, and if it does not succeed, will devote itself to making sure that Belizeans vote no. Last week, Prime Minister Dean Barrow made announcements that the recently passed PetroCaribe Loans Act 2015 will be amended to spell out the terms of spending, subsidization to existing laws, including the Finance and Audit Reform Act and other provisions. But the vision inspired by the people, long-standing opponents of the act and the handling of PetroCaribe funds, say the reforms do not go far enough and still camouflage what they say is tyrannical behavior by the government. Today, the VIP's Patrick Rogers say that without legitimization of the original loan agreement, the reforms mean nothing. Rogers say that their alliance with the Belize National Teachers Union and other unions which will lead them to the streets is because the Prime Minister is violating the Constitution. He poured scorn on the cosmetic changes to the act, accusing the Prime Minister of playing games and avoiding the real issue with opposition to the act.
Our consultation continues. Our consultation continues because this will remain in the PetroCaribe Loan Act. This will remain in the PetroCaribe Loan Act. The general provisions of Section 3. None of that we mentioned. Any changes will be happening to 5 in the event of a conflict between the provisions of this act and any other law. The provisions of this act shall prevail. None of that will be changed. 6, this act shall take effect retrospectively. That won't change. You see, so our point is that he's playing games with us so that the public can think, the Prime Minister, they try work with him. The Prime Minister, he had to work with people. In the tribe, can we make somehow we think that the man, the tribe, he appease him and we be stubborn now, accept the fact that he has the power to do as he like. You do not have the power to do as you like, Mr. Prime Minister. You're not the ruler, you're the leader. And we will bring back this country to leadership instead of rulers. Because
the VIP wants the act completely repealed. No timeline has been set for a demonstration as the People's United Party wait out a 21-day deadline for repeal, which the Prime Minister has already indicated will not happen. Meanwhile, it is consulting with interested parties to build broad support for an anti-PLA march. Members of the third parties and alternative movements have long been calling for the exercise of re-registration, originally legislated to take place every 10 years, but delayed by successive administrations. Without it, the parties argue, the voters' list, which is key to the fairness of any election, has become hopelessly cluttered and is open to corrupt practice such as packing voters in non-existent addresses solely for the purpose of voting. The vision inspired by the people's Paul Morgan told reporters today that their request to the Elections and Boundaries Commission at the end of April for re-registration has been rejected for reasons of no money available. According to Morgan, the VIP and other third parties want Belizeans to pay keener attention to other possible spots for compromise in the voting process, such as possession of ballot papers, which are issued 24 hours before a vote, printing of ballots, and others. Morgan said that not only do the crimes of no money no day ring hollow, but the established procedures are not foolproof, particularly in Morgan's native Belmopan.
Let us use what we know now. They are complaining about money, is that correct? Will it be easier to call everybody who's willing to vote and sign up here, you're willing to vote? That is essentially re-registration. Everybody come back where you are and fill out the form and you register, done. Or should we send out paid people to check every house and do a re-registration like that? There are several ways to do things, and I'm saying right now, other methods might not work, might not be cost effective. I think the most cost effective way to deal with this matter is to find out who resides in these areas by them coming over, and all we have to do is to check that they're telling the truth. And that is the problem that we have right now. Because I campaign in the streets. I'm telling you that I would say easily 30–40% of these people that we should find are not residents of Belmopan. I know personally, and I'll say this on here, that in my neighborhood, there is somebody who resides in Guatemala, and I took it to court, the VIP took it to court, and the magistrate refused to listen to that kind of thing.
With no re-registration, there will also be no redistricting of electoral boundaries, which took place in 2007. Of Belize's 31 constituencies, the disparity between the largest, Belmopan, at 9,107 voters, and the smallest, Fort George in Belize City, at 3,229 voters, is about 2.82 to 1, figures coming from the Elections and Boundaries Department's April electoral statistics. But Morgan would not commit to a potential boycott of elections over the issue, saying they would need to weigh making their point against a chance at the representation in the House. You're watching the 9 o'clock news. Stay tuned for more of the day's stories right after these messages.
Are you always on the go? Tired of missing your favorite games while they're actually being played? Watch your games and sporting events live with Central TV and Internet's incredible MyTV. Simply log on to www.mitv.bz to get easy access to 25 channels, no matter where you are. With Central TV and Internet's MyTV, you're always in the game.
The Belize Tire Depot, your one-stop destination. What you will find is a first-class selection of solid, dependable, quality products from the names you can trust. We carry a full line of urea and SureTech tools and equipment to meet every need, from light maintenance around the house to heavy-duty fieldwork. Our tire workshop features the full array of Pirelli, Nexen, and Nankang tires for every vehicle and any terrain. Our trained technicians' #1 priority is to ensure you and your family's safety and security on the road. It's all here at the Belize Tire Depot. From reliable equipment, world-class time-tested tires, to sturdy, durable tools. Merchandise that's built to last with quality guaranteed.
The annual Eco Kids Summer Camp, sponsored by the Lodge at Chaw Creek, comes up in a couple of months' time. But the preparation for this bold initiative has begun, and applications are now being accepted for children who want to enter. It is a unique opportunity for children to experience a part of Belize that they otherwise would not be able to. Roberto Harrison is a marketing officer for the Lodge at Chaw Creek.
Well, the Eco Kids Summer Camp is a Chaw Creek initiative that we have been doing for the past 5 years. So this year, 2015, it's actually our 6th running. And it's basically a 1 week all-inclusive summer camp for 24 kids across the country of Belize. Basically, it includes a competition between schools across the country of Belize, and we picked 24 kids between the ages of 8 to 13 to participate in this sustainable and multicultural platform that we're trying to create for future stewards of our natural heritage. Basically, what happens during the course of the 7-day program is that different ethnic groups, different diversity of kids from different backgrounds, different ethnicities come together, and they share in abundance the true healing nature of the world itself.
Harrison says the Eco Kids Summer Camp is one of several community events sponsored by the Lodge at Chaw Creek as a part of the company's corporate responsibility.
How are the children chosen?
So they have to write 4-paragraph essay on why they want to be an Eco Kid. And the essay is judged on the content as well as the spelling criterias and how inspired they are to become an eco-conscious citizen of Belize.
When the children arrive here, is there a specific plan of action from the time they land here until the time you wave them goodbye?
That is correct. We have a full schedule for the 7 days, and those schedules are handled by what they call the Eco Kids Summer Camp counselors. And basically they're broken up into 4 groups, and also the boys go with boy counselors and the girls go with the girl counselors, and they're separated, but at the same time during the day of the scheduled activities they come together to do the different activities that we have planned for them.
Why is Chaw Creek venturing on this summer camp? Is it part of your corporate responsibility?
At Chaw Creek, our ethos is sustainable tourism. And in being sustainable, we have to realize that we don't only have to protect the environment and our surroundings, but we also have to compart the knowledge. And being that we have some of the best trained naturalist guides in Belize, we would like to compart with the young people, the young Belizeans who are growing up in a world where materialism and the whole factor of pollution, we have more cars, we have more burning of garbage, we have more deforestation. And so we believe that it's very important and crucial for us to preserve some of the at least knowledge of what it causes and how we can impact and reverse this phenomena.
For the young person who is watching right now and maybe the application forms have not reached their school as yet, can they apply directly to Chaw Creek to attend this camp?
Absolutely. As a matter of fact, they can just go to google.com and search for Chaw Creek Summer Camp, and we should be #1 on the Google search engine for that. As well, you can apply via the contact us form, or you can email us to marketing@chawcreek.com and identify Mrs. Leah Idsab, who is Eco Kids Camp coordinator at the moment, and she will be able to email you the Eco Kids Camp application, and you'll be able to hand it in and send it in via email or fax.
The camp runs from July 19th to the 26th. The prizes for the logo competitions sponsored by the Anti-Trafficking in Persons Council were handed at the end of last week in Belmopan. The organization brings together various entities under one umbrella to fight the scourge of human trafficking. Judith Apulchi is the chair of the Anti-Trafficking in Persons Council.
The Anti-Trafficking in Persons Council has been established under the new Trafficking in Persons Prohibition Act of 2013. Actually, there has been some entity that has dealt with the phenomena of human trafficking since around 2006 or thereabouts. And it morphed into from a committee that was sanctioned by cabinet, a task force to a committee, and now a council that is sanctioned by law, under the law. It is multi-sectorial in its composition, so it has all the major stakeholders that deal with issues having to do with human trafficking, including immigration, customs, health, even national security and police as a whole, human development, which chairs, and all the other entities, the courts, as well as we have NGOs that work on this issue of protection and violence. The NOBCAN, which everybody knows is a stalwart NGO that has existed for some time, working on issues of child abuse and neglect, and the Youth Enhancement Services that deals with gender-based violence, especially focusing on girls. Those are the two entities in the country that really work on these issues. So they're at the table with us. We also have the Ministry of Foreign Affairs that is a part of this council.
Apulche, who is the Chief Executive Officer in the Ministry of Human Development, says that the logo competition was a part of the branding exercise to give information to the public about human trafficking.
The council needed a logo. So instead of just having a logo competition, which in and of itself has benefits in terms of whomsoever participates in that competition, then has to do some research and learn about human trafficking. What we did was to really utilize the opportunity to educate all high schoolers. So we went countrywide, educating young people about human trafficking, utilizing the student councils to really educate them and providing them with materials so that they could also do some peer education later on. And to sweeten the pot, to incentivize, to help young people listen a little keener, we tagged on this logo competition along with it. We were very pleased that we got responses and submissions from all over the country. And so we did that last year, and so we've gone through the process, and it was very difficult to choose the winner, because you will see that the logo that we have is actually a combination of the first and second place. And we really appreciated the logos that were sent in, because this is a very serious topic, and what we wanted to do with the logo was to ensure that it looked a bit more friendly and welcoming. As serious as the issue is, that we could brand the council as an entity that has a heart, that there's empathy there, that it is an entity that victims can reach out to.
The winner of the logo competition, Caron Zul, attends the Centro Escolar Mexico Junior College in San Roman Village, Corozal. He says that the design he came up with portrays a message about this form of modern-day slavery.
Well, it means a lot to me, because I know it's like an outlet to know people that have like a talent, and I can work with different types of design, right? And it's always fun to, always work with people if they have like a talent too. And for example, my colleague, it let me know that people from Belize has talent, and they can show that.
Now, explain the thought process that went into coming up with this logo. What does it mean?
Oh, I wanted to show that what ATIPS is about, right? And I wanted to demonstrate how ATIPS helps people, and I wanted people to feel like ATIPS is there for them, and they can actually, they just have to reach out to them for them to receive help.
Now, during this competition, were you able to do research? Have you learned a lot about the scourge of human trafficking?
Yeah, I did my my own research on human trafficking and the ways human trafficking works, and it's really rough, right? It's not a thing you would want to experience in any kind of form.
If you had the chance to talk with other people your age, other young people, what would you say to them so far as human trafficking is concerned?
I would tell them to stay safe, don't cause any trouble, don't look for any trouble. If in the case you're in that situation, then just find help if you can, right? And if you feel afraid, then there's always people that can help.
This means a lot to me, because when I first heard that I was in second place, I was so excited because this is the first time I went in for a competition and I came in second, which I'm really thankful and grateful.
What was the thought process that went into your contribution? I understand you contributed the slogan. What was the thought process behind that?
My thought process was that in Egypt there is always a way how you can restore a person's life, not just leave it that way, but it will get restored, and it destroys families and friends, and that's why I choose that slogan, because it restores life. Yeah.
If you had a chance to talk to other young people, other young ladies, what message would you say to them?
I would tell them that there is a way out of Egypt and human trafficking, and that keep pressing on, and there's always a way out, and to never give up.
The awards ceremony was held at the George Price Center in Belmopan. The news on the National Channel.
The Belize Tire Depot, your one-stop destination. What you will find is a first-class selection of solid, dependable, quality products from the names you can trust. We carry a full line of urea and Shortec tools and equipment to meet every need, from light maintenance around the house to heavy-duty fieldwork. Our tire workshop features the full array of Pirelli, Nexen, and Nankang tires for every vehicle and any terrain. Our trained technicians' #1 priority is to ensure you and your family's safety and security on the road. It's all here at the Belize Tire Depot. From reliable equipment, world-class time-tested tires, to sturdy, durable tools. Merchandise that's built to last with quality guaranteed.
Are you always on the go? Tired of missing your favorite games while they're actually being played? Watch your games and sporting events live with Central TV and Internet's incredible MyTV. Simply log on to www.mitv.bz to get easy access to 25 channels, no matter where you are. With Central TV and Internet's MyTV, you're always in the game.
To end the news, here are the headlines again. A Placencia man has been busted with crack cocaine. Belize Energy Workers' Union demands apology from Channel 7. And VIP holds press conference to discuss national issues. With the headlines, we end this edition of the 9 o'clock news. Thank you for joining us. I am Tifara Martinez. Have a good evening and a good night.